Dexter has survived murder scenes, manipulative masterminds, and the darkest corners of his own mind, but nothing could have prepared him for what's coming next. In episode 5 of Dexter, Resurrection, he steps into the lion's den, metaphorically, but literally. A private gathering of killers. Cold-blooded, organized, and possibly cult-like. This isn't a manhunt anymore. This is an initiation. And the scariest part, Dexter might not be the hunter, here he might be the prey. The lines between predator and predator are blurring, and Harrison's troubles are starting to explode. On the outside, just as Dexter is being pulled deeper into this underground web of monsters, something sinister is unfolding behind the party lights. And the blood is only beginning to spill. Episode 5 picks up in the eerie afterglow of that chilling underground party, the one Dexter infiltrated in the previous episode. It's not just any gathering. This place is crawling with individuals who aren't hiding their true nature. They celebrate it. Serial killers, sociopaths, people who've learned how to blend in, disappear, or even profit from their bloodlust. And now, Dexter is walking among them. It's a psychological minefield. Dexter isn't just keeping a low profile, he's playing a dangerous game of pretending to belong while constantly calculating exit strategies. Every conversation is a test. Every handshake hides a potential threat. He's not used to being surrounded by people like him. Or perhaps people far worse. There's a clear hierarchy at this gathering, and it seems Ronald is more than just a guest. He may be part of the group's leadership, or even a recruiter. Dexter's invitation wasn't just a coincidence. It was a summons. This changes everything. For years, Dexter operated alone. But now he's staring down a network, a cult of killers who may have their own code, their own rituals, and their own rules. The real question is, do they want Dexter to join them? Or is this party his initiation into something he never wanted to be a part of? Meanwhile, flashbacks from earlier seasons echo in Dexter's mind. Harry's code, the balance he once maintained, the illusion of control, all of it is starting to fray. These killers don't have a code. They don't pretend to be noble or careful. They kill because they want to, and they thrive on chaos. And the scariest thing, some of them know exactly who Dexter is. He's not anonymous here. He's a legend, a myth, maybe even a threat to their power. As Dexter navigates the conversations and subtle threats at the gathering, he begins to suspect that he's being tested. A woman named Mara.com, an elegant on the outside, casually describes her past. Victims over drinks. A man with dead eyes named Silas compliments Dexter on Miami precision. Someone left a photo in Dexter's coat pocket, old image from one of his earliest kills, long believed forgotten. They're watching him, studying him. They've done their homework. And that photo isn't a threat, it's a message. Asterisk, you're one of us now, whether you like it or not. Asterisk, but Dexter is also watching them. And he's beginning to map the structure of this group. There are leaders and followers. There's ritual and secrecy. And there's one unspoken rule: don't kill. Outside the code of the group, break the chain, and you disappear. The tension in the air is suffocating. One misstep and Dexter could become the next sacrifice. He sees hints of torture rooms behind locked doors. Hidden corridors guarded by silent men. This isn't just a party, it's a showcase. And the guests are predators showing off their trophies. But why now? Why invite Dexter after all these years? Is it respect? Fear? Or are they trying to control him, bring him into the fold to prevent him from threatening their order? Dexter knows one thing for sure. He has to play along for now. He's not ready to start a war in a place where he's outnumbered and surrounded. But in the back of his mind, he's already planning who he might take down first. The hunter in him is still alive, still calculating. But in this world of killers, survival isn't just about staying sharp. It's about staying invisible until the right moment comes. And as Dexter tries to stay a step ahead in this deadly game, trouble is brewing elsewhere. Harrison is slipping, and Claudette knows it. While Dexter walks through a house of killers with a smile that hides his paranoia, miles away, his son is beginning to crack under the pressure. Harrison's problems, once just whispers in the background, are now screaming, at full volume. Something is off. Not just in his behavior, but in the people around him, especially Claudette. At first glance, Harrison's situation seems straightforward. A troubled young man trying to hold on to a job, a routine, and a fragile sense of self. But there's a storm behind his eyes, and it's getting harder for him, too. Fake stability. In episode 5, that mask starts to slip. Harrison's coworkers start noticing his erratic behavior. He's distracted, moody. There are moments where he zones out completely, like he's reliving something traumatic, but, when asked about it, he brushes it off with a smirk or sarcasm. But Claudette sees through it. She's been watching closely. Harrison thought she was just a strict figure keeping tabs on him, but it's now clear that her motives are more complex. In episode 5, we begin to learn more about her connection to Harrison's past. She's not just looking out for him, she's investigating him. Why? Because she knows what he's capable of, or worse, what Dexter is capable of. Claudette has access to information Harrison never imagined. Medical records, behavioral reports, even sealed juvenile files. She knows about the incident from Harrison's past that no one else talks about, the one even Dexter hesitated to confront. And now, she's quietly gathering evidence, waiting for the moment to expose the truth. But there's a twist. Claudette isn't a cop. She's not working for law enforcement. She's something far more dangerous, a seeker of justice outside the system. She lost someone years ago, someone who may have been one of Dexter's past victims. And now, she's using Harrison to get to him. This revelation begins to take shape in subtle moments. She asks Harrison pointed questions about his childhood. She brings up Miami, his father's accidents, his strange understanding of death. Harrison plays it off at first, but slowly, the pressure mounts. He begins to feel trapped, like he's being interrogated without even being arrested. And just when Harrison thinks things can't get worse, he makes a crucial mistake. In a desperate attempt to feel control over his life, he lashes out at work. A confrontation with a coworker turns violent. He doesn't seriously injure anyone, but it's enough to draw attention. HR gets involved. Claudette is notified. And, suddenly, Harrison's second chance in this new city is hanging by a thread. Meanwhile, Claudette begins making quiet moves behind the scenes. She contacts someone. We don't know who. A journalist, a former investigator, a family member of a victim, whoever it is. She's building a case that could destroy Dexter's carefully rebuilt world. And Harrison, whether he knows it or not, is the key. Back at the gathering, Dexter senses something is wrong. His fatherly instincts kick in. He checks his phone. Missed calls, unread texts, but there's no way to step away without raising suspicion. He's surrounded by monsters. Every move is being watched. If he leaves too soon, it'll look suspicious. If he stays too long, Harrison could be in real danger. Dexter is caught between two ticking time bombs and both are counting down. But the worst part, Claudette isn't the only one watching Harrison. Someone from the same killer's gatherings keeping tabs on him. A figure in the shadows. Unnamed, unidentified. Their interest isn't professional, it's personal, and that means Harrison might not just be under investigation. He might be marked. The father and son dynamic is on the verge of collapse. Dexter has always tried to shield Harrison from his dark world, but now the darkness is closing in from every direction. Claudette is digging up secrets. Harrison is spiraling. And the cult-like killers Dexter just met, they may already be setting their sights on the next generation, and if Dexter can't act fast, his son could become a pawn in a much larger, bloodier game. That as the night deepens, and the gathering stretches into something far more ritualistic than festive, Dexter realizes this is no random assembly of murderers. This is organized, structured, and terrifyingly intentional. These people live by rules. Not laws, but code-twisted imitations of his own Harry's code. Except here, there's no remorse, no restraint, and no moral justification. Only dominance, secrecy, and blood. Episode 5 dives deep into the hidden world Dexter has now infiltrated. Behind the laughter and dim lighting, the whispers are darker, laced with stories of kills framed as art. Disappearances turned into trophies, and rituals, meant to bind the members together. This isn't a one-night event. It's a recruitment drive. And Dexter isn't just a guest, he's the main attraction. A man named Elias emerges from the shadows. Softspoken.com, and in total control. He doesn't introduce himself as a leader, but everyone seems to defer to him. The way they part when he walks. The way they listen when he speaks. He recognizes Dexter instantly. Not by name, but by legacy. He refers to Dexter as the butcher who vanished. Elias isn't guessing. He knows. And then comes the offer, not spoken directly, but implied in everything Elias says. Join us. Not as a foot soldier, not as a follower. As an equal. As a legend. This shakes Dexter more than he's willing to admit. For years, he's battled with isolation, guilt, and the fear that no one could understand the monster inside him. But now, he's surrounded by people who see that monster and call it beautiful, encouraging it, worshipping it. It's seductive in a way. A place where he doesn't have to hide, where the dark passenger is the passport, not the shame. But Dexter's not lost. Not yet. His internal struggle begins to bubble to the surface in this episode. The voices in his head, Harry's wisdom, Deborah's ghost, his own doubt all clash, as he weighs the temptation of acceptance against the truth of what he's become. He didn't survive all those years to become this, to be part of a death cult. There's a chilling scene where Dexter is invited into a private room, where the inner circle meets. The walls are covered in black and white photos of victims anonymous to most, but some familiar to him. Not because he knew them, but because their deaths were once in the news. Cold cases, vanishings art, as one member calls it. Each photo is labeled with a date and a signature. It's a killer's gallery. A grotesque museum, and Dexter sees something that makes his blood run cold. An old case from Miami that he remembers clearly. But the signature doesn't belong to him, which means someone else was copying him, emulating him, worshipping him from afar. It clicks. This gathering didn't just know about Dexter. They studied him, followed his work, his methods. He's not just famous here. He's a foundation, and that changes everything. Dexter realizes if he walks away, they might see it as betrayal, but if he stays, he'll have to either conform more, take them down from within. A dangerous path, considering their reach, their discipline, and their belief system. He's in the belly of the beast, and any wrong move will expose him. Then comes the test. Elias tells Dexter that acceptance requires action. They hand him a dossier of photos, addresses, schedules of a man who allegedly deserves to die. They claim he's a predator, a manipulator, and a killer of his own. But there's no trial, no proof, just a name and a face. Dexter hesitates. This isn't his code, it's theirs. But walking away could mean exposing himself to all of them. He's not ready for that. Not yet. So, he plays along. He takes the file, nods, smiles, but inside, he's already planning his own way out. This episode layers tension like a tightening noose. Dexter is being pulled in from every side. Elias and the cult want him to become one of them. Harrison is spiraling, possibly being targeted, and Claudette, she's one step away from lighting a match under Dexter's entire cover. And then, a final twist. Back at Harrison's apartment, someone breaks in while he's away. No sign of forced entry. Just a shadowy figure seen on the building's camera. They don't take anything. They don't leave anything, except a photo. The same one Dexter received earlier. A victim from his past. Now it's clear, this isn't just about Dexter anymore. Someone is watching both of them. Someone who sees Dexter not as a threat, but as a project. A relic of the past they want to revive or destroy. There's a particular kind of silence that follows a warning, a silence that doesn't soothe, but chills to the bone. That's where Dexter finds himself now. The secret gathering of killers is behind him for the moment, but its grip is tightening. Their rules, their rituals, and now their threats have begun to extend beyond the shadows of the party and into Dexter's real life. They're probing his boundaries, seeing how much they can control or provoke. That photograph left in Harrison's apartment wasn't just a message, it was an invasion, an act of war. And Dexter knows, with terrifying certainty, that his cover is hanging by a thread. The dual pressure of keeping Harrison safe while staying one step ahead of this hidden society has never been more intense. In episode 5, we're not just watching a man dodge bullets, we're watching Dexter unravel under the psychological weight of his past, his present, and what might come next. Dexter has always been a careful planner. But now he's improvising. The moment he returns from the gathering, his thoughts are racing. Who saw him leave? Who followed him? Did someone in that room already know about Harrison? About Claudette? About his real name? He starts checking the perimeter windows, locks, security footage. He even revisits the location of the party, but it's already been wiped clean. The gallery, the dossiers, the photos all gone, like it never existed. That's how organized they are. That's how dangerous. No fingerprints, no clues, no trail. Whoever these people are, they've done this before. But one piece remains. The file Dexter was given. The target they assigned him. It burns a hole in his conscience. He doesn't follow their rules, but the man in the file does have a record, allegations, abuse, assault, but no convictions. It's the kind of case that would have fit Dexter's code back in Miami. But the question lingers. Did they pick this man because he fit Dexter's style, or because they knew it would tempt him? Dexter does what he does best, he investigates. Quietly, carefully, and sure enough, the man in the file isn't just guilty. He's worse than Dexter imagined. But still, acting on this file would mean crossing a line. Playing by their rules. That means giving up control. And Dexter doesn't do that. Instead, he sets a trap of his own. He stages a fake kill. Blood spatter, clean up, disposal, everything, just the way the cult expects. He sends back a carefully crafted proof of kill using staged photos and props. A test of his own, to see how closely they're watching. But, while Dexter plays chess with killers, Harrison's situation is boiling over. After the altercation at work, Harrison is suspended, forced into a disciplinary program, and that's when Claudette makes her move. She arranges a private meeting with him. Not at the school, not at his job, but at her home. It's a trap, but not a violent one. She confronts him not with accusations, but with questions. Questions he doesn't know how to answer. She speaks, softly but directly. Do you know who your father really is, Harrison? At first, Harrison denies everything, laughs it off, but she isn't bluffing. She pulls out a thick folder. Documents, photographs, records going back decades. Not all conclusive, but enough to raise serious doubt. Enough to suggest that Jim Lindsay was never who he said he was. Claudette isn't trying to hurt Harrison, at least, not yet. She says she's trying to save him. From his father. From becoming like him, from the same dark passenger she believes is already inside him. This conversation haunts Harrison. It reopens wounds he tried to bury. He starts to question everything again, his memories, his identity, his future. Is he just broken? Is this violence inside him inherited? He begins having nightmares, images of blood, of Dexter's kill table, of moments he saw but never spoke about. He starts to fear his father. Not because Dexter has hurt him, but because deep down, he knows his father has secrets. And that one day, they might come for both of them. And as the paranoia deepens, Harrison starts to pull away. From school. From friends. Even from Dexter. Meanwhile, Dexter receives a message from Elias. It's simple. Just a text. Nice work. Now we talk about your future. This is the point of no return. The group believes Dexter has followed through. That he's proven loyalty. That he's ready for something bigger. Elias invites him to a second meeting. High level, no outsiders. It's an initiation, and Dexter knows it. Whatever happens there, it won't just be talk. But that's not all. A second message comes through. Anonymous. You shouldn't have faked it. They'll know. Dexter freezes. Someone inside the group saw through his plan. Someone who didn't buy the staged kill. Which means, he's being watched more closely than he thought. This raises the stakes to a deadly level. Now, any move could be his last. If Elias and the others suspect betrayal, they won't confront Dexter. They'll erase him, so Dexter prepares. He pulls out his tools not for a kill, but for survival. He starts building contingencies. Safe houses, exit plans. He begins tracking Elias, uncovering layers of false identities, off-grid connections, and disturbing links to other disappearances across the country. And then, another twist, Harrison disappears, not kidnapped, not taken, just gone. Left his phone, no note, no contact. Dexter panics. He searches everywhere. Calls Claudette, she hasn't seen him. She's shocked too, worried, but also angry. She tells Dexter, whatever you've done, it's pushed him away. He doesn't trust you anymore. Then Dexter gets a package. No return address. Inside, a burner phone and a USB drive. The drive contains footage, grainy, black and white security camera, clips, a hallway, a door, Harrison walking through it. The burner phone rings. A voice distorted.com, chilling. He's one of us now. He just doesn't know it yet. Dexter's blood runs cold. The episode ends with a shot of Dexter staring at the phone, silent. The dark passenger isn't a secret anymore. It's spreading. It's evolving. And someone, somewhere, is trying to awaken it. In Harrison, Dexter may have spent years running from his past. But now, that past is knocking on his son's door. And it won't leave without blood.